So, Big John Duncan.
Yes.
In the house. How are you, sir?
In your house. Yeah, I'm pretty well, thank you very much.
Good to see you again. It's been a while.
Well, the last time I seen you, you were down at mine. Well, actually, the last time I seen you was yesterday on
the screen.
On FaceTime. But in person, it's been a couple of years anyway.
It's been a while because I still had my Schenker Flying V. So today we're here to talk about one of my favourite albums. A classic.
I remember that.
Do you remember that? Well, I was going to say, what I was going to do...
the famous shortbread writing.
What I was going to say was, like, see when I play this, I'll tell you the first thing I think of, like, when I play this.
But it was originally a gatefold that opened out.
Like, when I play this, I think, that's so tight.
Oh, we were
punchy.
tight, man. We played so much together, it was...
Like, compared to Punk's Not Dead, like, that's so tight as well. So where was that recorded? Because it doesn't say on the sleeve notes.
This doesn't say. Does it not? Oh. Fucking hell. Now you've put me in a... I know it was in London.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't Wessex, that was the Blood Uncles. It was... I wish I'd swatted up before I come down here now.
Done your homework.
It was I don't know.
Because it's produced by... Who produced it? Produced by...
Tony Spath.
Aye.
Now, was he not to do with Red Rhino?
Could be. Could be.
I'm amazed that it doesn't say the studio.
I looked everywhere, like even on the inside sleeve and stuff like that. So you rehearsed like loads before you went in to do this?
Well, we played loads and rehearsed loads. We rehearsed, but we played all the time. We really played a lot of gigs.
Because it's super tight as well. Punchy, like Gary's bass as well. Gary's bass sounds brilliant. Because the whole album is like super tight, super punchy. It sounds like all the guitars are double tracked.
They are double tracked. They're not split. I played everything twice.
Right.
And the guy was like, wow, I can hardly differentiate. When you put the tracks together, they're going, it's spot on all the way through. And I was just so used to playing the songs. That's how. But it added, because he explained at the time, he's going, this, when you take one guitar signal and split it into stereo, it doesn't do the same as two guitars.
It almost phases each other.
It sort of does, because every now and again you'll do, in that left one I'll be doing this, and in the right one I'll do that, just because nothing was like set in stone. You know what I mean? Although it was, everything was sort of tight and written, and you played exactly what you were doing, but there was a little bit of, I'm going to do this time and this time.
Because there's some of the songs, like you can hear when you're coming in the chorus, like there's a definite different guitar part. To sort of like spreading out a bit.
Well, because I was doing that, I'm going, well, if that guitar's doing that and that guitar, I'll do this, and that'll make it just sound a bit different, bigger, or I don't know, just sort of experimenting a wee bit.
So how long were you in the studio? A couple of weeks or something?
Not long. It was, the drums were done. We went in and played, and then we recorded as a band, but they'd done the drums while we played as a band, sort of thing. And then we put the bass on, and then the guitar and the vocals, and
so and then back into all the guitars and stuff.
And I think some of the guitars stayed because they were
so tight.
Because they were already in, because we were so used to playing with each other all the time. And it's something I've carried on. I don't know how far you want me to go into things with it. Do you just want to talk about the Exploited, or?
No, just whatever you want to do. I'm good.
No, it's just with other people. When you go into the studio, you learn things through working and playing, and then eventually you're in another band and you're in the studio and they're programming the drums and doing that, and everybody's sitting outside, and then the drummer comes in to do something, and then everybody goes away, and then the bass player. I'm going, that's such a crap way to do things, And it took us up to our 5th album going, let's just all go in and play
at the same time, actually play like a band.
Because the Blood Uncles done that, man, and that was fucking amazing.
Because there's a more reactive thing as well, because if you're playing off people, you can kind of, oh, well, we're doing this bit, we're doing that bit, as opposed to just going back in and playing over a drum track.
Well, that's the thing, you can't, there's 4 people or 3 people all coming together, but when you are together, there's something else created that those 3 people as individuals can't create unless the 3 of them are together doing it. There's this other thing that just, when it clicks, man, and you're just looking at each other going, yes, this is fucking,
I can imagine
this is happening, nothing's going to go wrong now.
I can imagine the Blood Uncles was like that, like in the studio. That was the sort of thing.
Everything we done was, like the 3 of us were together, everything was played as a band. We had backing track going, and our backing track, we played it through a PA and recorded the PA. We didn't just get a drum machine and plug it into
the desk.
No,
right.
We didn't. No, that's not our sound. We had our drum machine going through speakers,
and then
so that's what we listened to. That's what we wanted it to sound like. So we set a PA up in the studio, big studio, Wessex Studio in Islington, and fired the drums through that, and that was blasting out, and we were playing. And they recorded what was coming out of the speakers. That's how the drums were recorded.
I didn't know that, bloody hell. Must have been deafening in the studio.
Well, it was. Everything was in wee booths though, so that nothing spilt. But when you listen to anything, when you listen to my guitar, you could hear everything in the background. When you listen to the bass, you could hear everything in the background. But then once you join it all together,
it just sounds like...
It just sounds like
so it's a massive sounding
sort of album. Brilliant, sound really great.
What TV programme were you on as well?
Well, FSD.
It was FSD, was that the Blood Uncles?
Blood Uncles,
aye.
Exploited?
No, you were on Top of the Pops.
Well, Top of the Pops, that was... Did they Exploited do any other TV programmes?
I couldn't find any, I mean...
No, I don't think so. We did in the States.
Because I was going to ask, because...
We did a thing in the States, on the TV.
On American Live TV or something like?
No. We didn't play live.
Just sort of miming
to... We mimed to a thing and... Fucking... I took mushrooms and was out my face, man. I fell while we were filming, because there was shite, not shite, but there was stuff all over the floor, beer and crap. I kept slipping on it and couldn't get up or anything.
Was that on the film? Was that on?
Aye, it's on the...
I'll need to...
It's Troops. I'm sure it's Troops tomorrow.
I'll need to...
Troops off tomorrow.
I'll need to find that. I was going to ask, like, so you're on Top of the Pops on the 15th of October 1981, I'm sure you remember that.
No, I don't. Well, I remember being on Top of the Pops, but I couldn't tell you what date
15th of October. But so Dead Cities was out before the album, but they sound really similar. Did you record Dead Cities at the same time as the album?
Aye. I think. Is it not on the album?
No. It just came
out. It's so long ago for me, and there's a lot of things happened since that.
That's why we're making this video,
so we can find out. But I'm really interested now in what studio it was that we were. Because it was quite a famous studio, and there was...
I looked everywhere and couldn't see anything, even like the inside sleeve, there's no credit.
Can't you just go, what studio was the Exploited recording Troops of Tomorrow in?
And they sent me to you didn't know.
I don't know.
No. I couldn't find out at all, because I was interested. So was this like from the rehearsal room?
Aye, that's just...
Is that Niddy Street?
No, I don't think it was Niddy Street. It was just set up in fact... JMP. So it's a JMP, and it's from about 1970.
What amp did you use in the studio then? Did you use a couple of different amps?
JMP, that
very amp?
Aye.
That very amp, yeah.
JMP 70. 1970 it was from.
What did you use for overdrive?
A DOD.
One of the DODs,
a grey one with yellow writing.
A
250 or something.
Yeah.
That was all. That was the only pedal that was That was it.
That was the whole thing.
There was nothing else, just that.
I mean, like the sound. Did you use like desk EQ, or what sort of EQ put on the desk? Because it's really bites, really cuts through.
I just wanted I got the guy. I'm going. You stand in front of your amp and guitar, and you go like that, and a noise comes out.
Aye.
And then you're sitting in this studio. You're sitting in the control room, and this noise comes out.
And it's not the same thing, eh?
Aye, yeah. My guitar. Come out and listen to my guitar. That's what I mean. You'd think it would be the easiest thing in the world. That sound, just make it come out of these speakers as well. So whatever they done then, to a point where instead of being out with headphones playing, sitting in the control room playing, then you're happy because that's my sound that's coming out.
I know exactly what you mean. Because like you stand there in front of your Marshall, and you think that's what I want, then you go in the control room. There's something missing there.
Or there's something added, or wait a minute, that's.
So was there 13 songs in the album? So you must have recorded Dead Cities at the same time, but just released as a single on its own.
I think so,
How was Top of the Pops? Was that alright?
Aye, it was a laugh, it was funny.
Who else was on?
The Birdie song, it was on.
No way.
Aye. I have a Donald Duck mask from, because everybody was, when the audience and were dancing about to the Birdie song, they gave out masks to wear.
Sort of tweet thing.
I had a Donald Duck. I got this Donald Duck mask. What else was on? What's her name? Claire Grogan.
Oh, was she on?
They were on.
Altered Images, was it?
Altered Images, that.
So do you just rock up in the middle of the afternoon and then just set your gear up and head off to the green room or something like that?
I sort of hang about, have a few drinks, talk to people, go for makeup, which they didn't really do much for us, and then you go and record it, and it's recorded live, i.e. the musicians aren't live. We had to go into the studio and record the song again.
Well, without vocals or something like? Or just a different mix or something?
Just a different, well, I think to prove, the way I looked at it was to prove that we were actually playing it.
Right.
But then mysteriously the tapes got, the tape that was played that night was the actual tape that from the actual record.
From there, right.
It wasn't
the one that you had specially done.
It wasn't that, So it was like, I think that was the reason.
How many folk are in the studio dancing about when you're doing it then?
Oh, a few hundred.
Aye. And they're just hanging about all day, just waiting on the next band.
Basically, why I was talking about how it's recorded. They start from the first band and they record it live, i.e. the programme's 30 minutes,
right.
And they record it 30 minutes.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
So it's going round, as one band's playing, they're setting up the band in that one, and then the cameras move to this stage where they're taking down and another one's setting up.
Right.
So that they run it, they don't stop filming for 30 minutes.
I thought
it's
it was
not
all
edited or anything.
I thought it was all edited together.
And then once it's finished, the studio's locked and you're all sitting going, and somebody's upstairs watching it from beginning to end, making sure everything, and if it's okay, great, you can go and get pissed. If not, they have to record it again from the very beginning.
Everybody has
to be there and start from the beginning to the end again. And that's happened a few times. Not luckily, it was fine. It was nothing to do.
Bloody hell, I didn't realise that.
And what did I do? I had my red Flying V, and
that's right.
And I pulled all the strings off it. And while we were after our show's done, we're picking up our guitar and this little girl comes up and taps me and she's going, I think this is yours. It is the bridge with broken strings all hanging off it. I go, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Put it in my pocket.
Oh, you wouldn't want to lose that, I didn't realise it was all recorded, just that's mental. Well, you would think they would just do everybody one.
Okay, right next to a 30-minute tape, and then they watch it to make sure it's all okay. I mean, that was back then, that was bloody early 80s.
Aye. Well, it was October 1980.
Well, as you say. But I doubt if that's how they would do things now. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
They must edit things. Eh?
Well, even then, I thought it would all be edited and.
Like you say, you come along at 2 and you will do your 5 minutes at 2. We'll get something in a half 2.
Yeah.
There you go. So after, we'll just move on then. So after the Exploited, it's the Blood Uncles.
Yeah.
Kind
Me
of.
and Gary mucked about with this thing called Crazy Maybe.
I remember the name.
Done a few gigs. It was quite good. We sort of, and then that sort of petered out, and then Blood Uncles.
Signed to Virgin, I think.
Signed to Virgin.
Nice.
Well, we done a single ourselves first. We put that out.
Is that the Petrol EP?
Petrol EP. Well.
I've got it there. I'll get you to sign it later.
Fucking hell, man. Because we thought that's a good way to give to record companies instead of giving your tape or whatever. Here's their demo. A 12-inch.
Was that recorded
single.
here in Edinburgh?
Well, it was recorded in Edinburgh, here in the Castle Sound.
Castle Sound.
Done a few gigs in it. We done a famous gig at the art school here in Edinburgh where we choked the whole fucking audience.
Were we using too much smoke or something?
With Nigel, we used to have like smoke and stuff, and Gary Hunter used to do daft things for his smoke and things, and he done, I don't know what he used, but he had this great idea of emptying stuff into the ashtrays and all the tables, so that when people were putting
cigarettes
back in the days when
you could smoke
smoking, and when you put your cigarette out, but he used something that wasn't quite right, and the hall started filling up, and we were going, people were running out, and then eventually it came on
the stage.
It came onto the stage, and it was like you couldn't breathe. You kept on trying to inhale, and it was getting worse. I honestly thought I was fucking going to die. I just remember at one point my eyes started going, and we were trying to play, do you know what I mean? It was still, but then eventually I had flung my guitar on the floor and fucking ran off the stage, pushing into people out in the corridor trying to get a drink. And it was, whatever it was, like a thing that should have been at arm's length, like contained in an explosive or something, but it was just set, and because it was just in the atmosphere,
it was just
the fumes from it were like fucking deadly, man. It was unbelievable.
So they'd have to call the emergency services?
I don't know what they'd done, but it cleared, and then we went back on stage and played the rest of the gig. It was like, what the hell? These things happen.
So what?
But it was memorable.
After that, was it the Mackenzies? Was that the next thing?
Mackenzies.
When did you join the Mackenzies? Early 90s?
1988.
Was it as early as that? Right.
1988. That was the first album. Was 1988.
I didn't
They
realise
were in REL.
That's
well. I met Martin one night in a bar. Well, I didn't know this guy. We just started talking, and he was sitting up in the seat, and I think another time I'd taken something silly that was doing strange things to my head, and I was lying on the floor with my head against this, talking to this guy, and he was saying, we're in the studio, and he was going, oh, we need somebody to play guitar, or I went, oh, I could do that, I could come along. And so I was going into the studio just to help them with some guitar.
To do some tracks.
So that's what I done. So I done that, and then he go, oh, we've got a gig in Glasgow coming up in a few weeks' time, would you mind? I went, oh, okay.
I'll just do that.
So I'll just do that.
So how long was the Mackenzies for? Because I mean, I saw you a few times doing that. I think
Johnny
just played with you a few times.
90s sometime.
Until Shirley started doing
Angelfish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was there in the initial Angelfish.
Oh, right, doing the recording for that?
I'd done some of the guitars and was learning to play the songs, and it was like, this is a bit not me, if sort of thing.
Wasn't overly guitar-y,
because I had to sort of turn down a bit and not be so fucking But they're good songs, you know what I mean, but just I want to
To rock.
Well, I wanted to rock. And also the Nirvana thing came along at the same time.
When did you start working with them? On the Bleach tour when the Cataran were touring?
No, after that.
After that, just when...
That's when Alex started working with him.
Yes.
Alec McLeod.
Yeah.
Because he was, well, obviously he was with the Cataran, and Nirvana played with them, but then once they played in Scotland and stuff, Nirvana were going over to Europe, and they turned to Alec and goes, oh, you can come to Europe
with us,
drive, and so he did.
It was funny because I think they said we've not got a tour manager, so you fancy doing it?
Yeah.
Almost, eh? So
we were just a wee band at the time.
So did you start doing guitars then for Cut?
No. They were already pretty big, playing places. Ernie Bailey was the guitar tech.
Yeah.
But Ernie and his wife had a cafe that they ran in Seattle, and he was wanting to go back and help because his wife was struggling just doing it herself.
Right.
So he was going back to do that. Point in Ireland was the first gig that I done.
Which is pretty big, eh?
Aye. That was my very first gig.
That famous photograph, like Kurt's looking over your shoulder, like are you soldering something?
No, I'm rolling a joint.
No way.
Aye.
I didn't know that. I thought, he must be repairing his guitar.
No, I was rolling a joint at the time.
So how long was the Nirvana thing? Did that go? You do right until 94?
94.
Right until the...
We were halfway through European tour.
So you were out on that tour as well?
Oh, aye.
Right.
We were in Prague at the time. We'd done Berlin, and then the next gig was Prague. In fact, there was supposed to be 2 gigs in Berlin at the airfield, and one happened and the second one didn't. And there was a little bit of a break there. They went to Rome for a bit of holiday, Courtney and Kurt.
Aye, that's right, yeah.
And he overdosed and wasn't very good.
So I take it at that point you knew the tour, that's it?
Well, the tour was finished then. He was taken to hospital and then they were going back to the States.
Right.
So the second half of the tour was off and was going to be rescheduled somewhere. But that never happened.
So that takes us up to 94. So what did you do after that? This and that?
Well, back with the Mackenzies.
Oh, right.
When it was just the 4 years, both Rona and Shirley were gone by that time. So that's when 5 came out.
Right.
So we were out. We just was doing that and went out on the road. I can't remember where I was, Germany somewhere, and sitting in the dressing room, and the guy comes up and going, "There's a phone call for you down in the office," and I'm like, "Huh? Nobody knows where the fuck I am." Well, and so I goes down, and a friend of mine from the States phoned me at the gig because she knew all the places that we were playing, and the first thing she said to me, I went, "Hi, hello." She's going, and she never said hello, John, or anything. She's just going, "Sit down, it's not your family." Right. And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She's going, she worked in an office, don't ask me the name of this finance thing, and on their computers they had these news flashes things that would come up before it was actually on TV and stuff.
Right, okay.
So this thing had flashed up, Kurt Cobain had killed himself, committed suicide sort of thing.
And that's where
she immediately got in touch with me to say, don't worry, sit down, it's not your family.
Because you wouldn't know.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, just thinking, how's this possible? Don't be stupid, you know.
Tragic.
But it was possible, and it wasn't stupid. Well, it was stupid, the whole thing, but yeah, tragic. It was like, I was dumbfounded, man.
I guess everybody who's in that whole environment, everybody who's working with them, they just finding that out.
Well, what got me, I'm going, how could they? I mean, I was out in tour with them, and I sat next to them, and I seen what like he was, because he had a daughter, and I seen what like he was with his daughter, and I'm going, how could you give that away? How is that possible? I mean, no matter how low you get, surely that's the thing that's going to get you through it.
It's the thing that's going to bring you back and say, I can't do that.
And from that day to this day, I'll think, he didn't kill himself. I don't think so.
No.
To this day, I don't think so. No.
There's certainly a lot of
if he
stories
did,
about
it was a weird accident or something went wrong. Seriously wrong, do you know what I mean?
So...
Because when Francis Bean was about, he was a different person altogether. He was, honestly, he was jumping for the smile on his face.
Just like a doting dad, happy just with his family.
It was unbelievable. It was, wow, it was really a great thing to see, yeah. Anyway.
So, what are we up to these days then? Well, no, not me and you, obviously, but what are you up to these days? Music-wise,
Music-wise,
the Mackenzies again,
Mackenzies,
of course. What is it? Sorry, when are these gigs? October, November?
Well, we've got some gigs coming up in October. The way it's worked out is this year is that when we got back together in 2019, it was the 30th anniversary of the first album, which was 1989.
God.
We thought, we'll get back together and play a gig, just to. But that gig turned down to, well, here we are, 5
still going.
years later, fucking hell. We didn't expect anything. None of us, you know what I mean? The thing I got out of it is it got me back into playing guitar, because before that, I hadn't given up, but I was finding it really, really difficult to play, to actually play guitar.
Sorry, health-wise and stuff?
Well, when I got MS, I mean, it's affected my legs, but it affects my hands as well. Now that I've been sitting here the whole day and I haven't even been aware of it. But now that I'm talking about it, I can feel my hands.
Starting to feel it.
And I can feel the thing around here now because I'm talking about it as well. I'm aware of it. My hands are less sensitive. They're not as dexterous as they used to be. So it was really, really difficult picking a guitar up. And imagine having a hand that was really fuzzy and like sort of quite intense pins and needles, like the whole hand. Plus you're wearing a really heavy leather glove that's quite stiff. Now pick up your guitar and
do that.
Play it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you're like, pfft. So I was trying to do things differently.
Right.
I couldn't, there was things that I can do that. I could have played in the Exploited, no problem, because
A quick question I was going to ask. Did you play everything with bar chords? Was it all E and A bar chords? And Exploited, was it all just one bar chord?
No, there was quite a few bar chords.
No.
E's, A's, G's, B's, D's.
But you know what I mean? Like, was it just the one sort of chord shape is what I mean?
No, there was a few chords in here and a few bits and pieces that were played, a few riffs and things.
Because when I was
few and far between, the punk songs just.
Well, I was going to ask because when I was
I
try to play along with the album, I can only do with like E bar chords, like to play that fast. That's what I was asking. Well, it wasn't being cheeky, like.
No, but that's there's no other way you can do that.
So
well, you could play open. Do you know what I mean? Without the bass on it, just tune it differently. But I've never done that.
Just play one finger. So, like, when you're back in the Mackenzies, do you think that's helping?
Well, what happened was I got this phone call from Martin saying, "Oh, it's 30 years ago the first album came out, and we're thinking of getting back together to do a gig and play the album in its entirety because we'd never done that before. We'd never played all the songs live. In fact, a lot of the songs we'd never played live. They were only done in the studio.
Right.
Well, you need 8 guitar players
to do all that
to fucking do a song. So my initial, I'm going, well, no, I can't. I can't do that. I can't play my guitar anymore. I can play my guitar, but I can't do that.
Can't do the same sort of thing you used to do.
And we talked about it and tried to come up with things, and they said, "Oh, maybe you could just do an encore." And my reaction was, "If you think I'm sitting all the way through your set so I can go up and do one song, no." So, but what it did do was give me an idea. So the next day, I went upstairs at my house. And another thing, I'd never listened to that record for 30 years.
So you had to relearn it.
I never listened to anything. well, I listened to stuff all the time, but that wasn't one of them. There was very few things that I went backwards. I never listened to Exploited. I listened to the Blood Uncles all the time. Well, they were just coming up, but I never listened to Mackenzies or Exploited or any other things or other things that I liked at the time. Or I was always trying to find new things to listen to all the time. So I went upstairs, put the album on, I thought, right, I'll use one finger and see what I can do.
Right, it was right back to basics like that, was it?
Well, that was, because before that, I was going upstairs, plugging my guitar in, playing for a bit, playing for half an hour, and then I'd get fed up and I'd
just get downhearted and think I'll be able to do this.
And then a month would go by, and my partner John would be going, "You never play guitar now?" And not only upstairs, but in the living room there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'd be like 7 guitars lying about, with dust on them. Do you know what I mean? And every time I went past them, I'd be like, I'd just blank them out, sort of thing.
Just didn't have it in you
so
to do it.
I went up and I thought, right, what can I do? Oh, I can remember that. Oh, 2 fingers, a bit bar chord, or just you get a couple of notes and then immediately you just, oh, that's what I've done there.
Muscle memory kind of.
Muscle memory, but then other things I'm like, what am I playing there? Is that me playing the guitar? And but the difference was, I went up the next day, and from an hour went to 2 hours.
2 hours, aye.
And then the next day was 4 hours, and then the day after that and after, I was spending like 6 or 8 hours upstairs playing the guitar.
And just going like through the whole set, all the songs.
And then I says, I'm going, right, I'm up for it. It's all or nothing. That's it. I'm up for doing this. Are you sure? I'm going, yeah, it's all or nothing. If I can't do the whole thing, I'm not doing it at all.
Brilliant.
So I was going, wow, this is... And at the time I was sitting going, fuck, this is all I needed, was a kick up the arse to... Don't get disheartened. We just needed to go up every day.
Something to come along that you think, right, I need to focus, this is going to happen in 3 months, I need to focus and get that done.
I never put something on to go, right, I was just sitting with my guitar and my amp and effects going, and I was playing with effects, trying to create stuff that I couldn't, I'll put that on, and because my right hand was still pretty okay, but my left hand was where, because I couldn't feel when I'd try to do a D chord. I couldn't feel where my fingers were where they were going, if I was touching the strings or not.
Right.
And I had to look, and I'm going, oh right, that one's fucking hitting off that A string. So
God, aye.
Do you know what I mean? It's really strange.
Is it a bit improved now?
Oh, it's improved, but it's still nowhere near what I used to be. So that's why see what happened, because I couldn't, well, at first I says, no, I can't do this at all. So Martin's going, right, we really want to do this. What am I going to do? We'll get somebody in to play guitar. Jim Brady.
From Barky.
Aye. But Martin phoned me up to say, I'm going to get somebody in to play guitar. And he's going, we're thinking of Jim Brady. And I was like, oh, man, that's brilliant, man. Jim's a really good friend of mine from way before I ever lived in Edinburgh.
A great player as well.
A great player. And I'm so happy, because I'm thinking, who else could they get to? Oh, I don't know who else would. But I'm going, I was just so happy because I really loved Jim, do you know what I mean? So I'm going, oh, that's great. But then, when I decided I'm doing this, and then I'm thinking, but there's bits that I physically can't do. I've tried and tried and tried, and I can't do it, but I'd have to go, okay, everybody, just hold on a second. I'm
going to put this D
finger here, and this one, and okay, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then play this little bit and stop again. So but I'm going, right, if I do this bit, Jim can, because that first album's quite a lot of guitar on it.
Aye.
Layers and layers of guitar, And so we got Jim in, so Jim came through, just the two of us, and we sat and went through and go, right, if I'm doing this, you can do that. If you're doing that, I can do this. And for the first time, not for the first time, the Mackenzies were good, but this brought it to another level.
Aye.
Just having the two guitars in it.
And if it's somebody you know pretty well as well,
that's the thing.
You know how he plays, he knows how you play, and you can
the thing is, with Jim, he's from Cumbernauld and I'm from Muirhead, which are two little villages out past Glasgow sort of thing. So we've both got that sort of thing, that Glasgow thing going on, so that we could laugh about things that we just had a great laugh. It was so great being able to be stupid together. And but it worked out really great. Good. Plus she's really wee and I'm really big.
Kind of average each other out.
It just was, it's like perfect. I just think it's perfect. So much.
That's brilliant. So we'll just end it here if that's cool with you.
If that's okay.
Yeah, of course it is. It's been an absolute pleasure, as it always is, every time I see you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
We still never found out what studio we were in.
If anybody knows,
if anybody knows what studio this album was recorded in, despite the guitar player being here, please do let us know. I'm here in body, but not in mind, so
cool,
such is life.
Perfect.